Hey, we're back with the Three Stooges review. This time it's Three Little Pigskins. This is the fourth film that they did with Columbia Pictures. So we're getting into the gist. The question is, are the Stooges getting into the gist? Well, let's see. There's a couple of things I want to say about this. Number one, we don't have familiar Three Stooges theme music yet. Also, Felix Adler co-wrote this one with someone named Ray McCarey. And we'll talk about that when we get to plot.
Right.
For slapstick comedy, I give this one a 2. I give this one a 2.
First of all, why don't you give it a 3? I'm curious.
Okay. 2 is a very good rating. 2 means it's good Stooge stuff. 3 means it's my personal favorite. It means it's up there beyond just good Stooge stuff. Okay, so that's how I justify this as a 2. This is another very physical film. Well, all the Stooges are physical, but this one lends itself to the physicality and the slapstick humor.
Right.
Anyway, so I give it a 2. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 3 because, although it's not one of my favorite Stooge episodes either, I winced at a couple of the eye pokes, and the timing of, they do it 2 or 3 times in this one. Mo hits somebody, Larry says, "Hey, what are you doing?" and he gets whacked too, and then the other guy gets whacked again. They are in position for the slapstick. On point every time. I mean, timing is everything, and when this slapstick goes off, just like that. I mean,
That's very
amazing.
true.
It's amazing.
It's very good. They're very good at it.
So I gave it a 3 because that's...
Yeah, well, put it this way. The water seltzer scene is nonsensical and really kind of lame in concept. You know, and yet I chuckle at it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
But
theoretically it's asinine. You know, grown men spraying each other with seltzer and acting as if
like
it
big
makes
deal.
like it's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
And but yet they're amusing to watch, even doing a dumb routine like
I would
that.
agree.
Anyway, I give the dialogue a 2.
I give the dialogue a 2 as well, and one of the things about the dialogue for me is I do like it, and I was gonna say something important about the dialogue. One of the reasons why this isn't my favorite, a favorite of mine, is because there's some stuff about it. I guess we'll talk about this when we get to the plot, but just to throw this out there, it doesn't make a lot of sense why the Stooges are even in this situation. So outside of that, I mean, the dialogue doesn't even lend me to understand that, so it gets a 2. Maybe it should get a 1 because there's a story here, but we'll just move on. I gave it a 2 for dialogue. We'll get to some other stuff. All right, so unintentional humor.
There's no unintentional humor.
No. So here's where I talk about it. So here's the plot.
The plot, first of all, I give the plot a 2.
I give the plot a 2 as well. I give the plot a 2 is because I'm not sure. They start as vagabonds. They're begging on the street. They turn into football players.
You know what I want to say about the dialogue? I'm sorry. Let's go back to dialogue.
Dialogue gets a 2 from me.
Dialogue also gets a 2 for me. I give it a 2 on 2 fronts. The beginning of this short where they're begging...
He's an ass. This happens all the time.
The scenes early on when the Stooges are begging for money, and the scene where the Stooges first meet the women and converse with the women, are both very entertaining for me and heavily dialogue driven. So that's where it earns a 2 for me. Other than that, it's basically expositional stuff to move the story along.
And plot, as far as the plot's concerned, I gave it a 2, and it's probably because the same reason I gave the dialogue a 2. It's good, and the plot, and I guess Adler did a pretty good job. Maybe it was the other guy who really did this. I don't know, but you know, we have vagabonds, and then we have football players. So this is, and the Stooges. If anybody, you know, anybody who likes the Stooges knows, if you go to the bathroom or get a drink during the Stooge episode, you're going to come back to a completely different episode, and that's what's so. In my opinion, that's what I really love about the Stooges. One short can be a cascade of things. And this is one of those things. First they're vagabonds, and then they're football players. It's confusing how they became the football players because the dialogue is people don't set up football games like this. They didn't back then, they don't now. So it gets a 2 for plot for me, because it's not, although it's great, it's not sound.
I give it a 2 for plot, and this one actually marks a trend that you mentioned. A trend in splitting the episodes in 2 distinct acts.
Yeah.
The Stooges are in a certain situation at the beginning, and at the act break, there is literally an act break. The Stooges literally hit a situation where everything now changes, and they're in a brand new situation. Mm-hmm. And before I learned anything about story, this always fascinated me, but technically that is the essence of any good story. You ever go take a break during any movie, you come back and you go, what happened? Because you missed how things changed so drastically and why everybody's in different situations. Anyway, so this is film number 4, and this is the first time they've done this.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what I'm getting at. I
Okay.
think that's important.
Yeah.
And
you know what?
That now we all know
Right.
that this is the first time they did that, and it was the 4th film in to the series.
And I guess without that pointed out, I wouldn't have realized that this is the first time we watched that happen, huh?
Right. And so I just thought it was important to mention that. And so the question is, did Felix Adler have something to do with that, or did this Ray McCarey guy have more to do with that? And
we'll
Adler
see,
was
because
just, we will see. Well, we'll get an indication. Right. Anyway, Mo gets a 2. He's firmly introduced as the closest thing you're going to get to a straight man of this 3-man act. And it just carries. It just works.
I gave Mo a 2 as well. He has some funny grumblings. Larry gets a 2. He didn't do that much.
I agree. He gets a 2. I don't think Larry could ever earn a 1, simply because Larry's
does what he's supposed
one
to do.
performance is a 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think Larry could ever. We'll find out though.
Yeah.
Curly.
No, I gave Larry a 1.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
In Men in Black.
Right, because he's not. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, well that's because you hate the episode. See, there's different reasons why you might
Yeah.
give a rating or whatever.
That's why we'd like you to
using this
comment, because we want to get some
Let's
input
get some
on what-
debate going
Yeah.
on here.
Okay.
Anyway, on to Curly. Curly again earns
Curly.
a 3.
And I'm going to tell you something. This is the 4th one, right? And for many, many years, I kind of slated on Curly. A lot of times people would say, Curly. And I'd say, no, Curly's not. But you know what? Every damn time this guy's in front of the camera, it's like, what the hell is he doing? He is funny constantly. He's a chuckle every time. He's either an outright laugh riot, or he's a chuckle. That's
at
a
the
3.
least.
That's a 3. I mean, he's always funny. Except for Men in Black, but he's always funny.
Pretty Girls. Now, finally, we're getting to the reason I created this category. This one scores a 3 for Pretty Girls, and that is
Agreed.
because, well, first of all, one of the things that a lot of people find interesting about this one is that Lucille Ball is actually in it. And she looks quite wonderful.
Fantastic.
She can't be a day over 20. She looks great.
She couldn't be any prettier.
Also is Gertie Green, who this is the only time she's been in one. She's very adorable. And Phyllis Crane, who's been in several of the Curly episodes, who is a personal favorite of mine. But this being the 4th film, and I think the 2nd one she's been in. I just think she's dynamite. She's really, really pretty.
And Pretty Girls as well as, I gave it a 3 too, and I also give it a 3 because not only are they pretty, they also do a great job co-starring with these guys and going along with the act. I mean, you got to be a professional to stand in a room with these guys and not just be completely overtaken by everything that's going on.
The totals for this episode, I give it a 19.
And I give it a 20.
That puts this one pretty far above average. Pretty much even between average and really, really great. So there you have it. There's our review. Is there something else? Oh, the ending of this episode is terrible. I don't know what they could have done to make this work, but the end is really just a slapped on. And actually, this is a problem with a lot of Three Stooges films. Being short films and probably being written relatively quickly.
Yeah. Don't forget, we have a lot of improvising going on, so we don't know what's left on the cutting floor. We don't know.
These early episodes, they seem to end almost with additional footage later added to the final cut. And it's just very distracting, but this is something you have to put up with Three Stooges films because they simply aren't designed to be like a feature-length motion picture, and they usually have bad endings.
And I also want to say, when we were watching this again to do the review, we got through the vagabond part, and then they were going to go and play football. I was going to say, you can turn it off now because we don't need to see this part. In thinking that the football part was going to be boring, it's not. It's but it's funny that I thought, oh, we don't need to see that part. Curly comes out with his little dance stretch.
It's interesting that by going into these with an analytical mind, like we're gonna do this review and then we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna discuss it, creates a new level of experience. So that's another reason to participate because you notice things for a whole new reason than you used to before. I mean, we all know that if you watch a Three Stooges episode that you've seen 10 times, and then you see it one more time, and all of a sudden you're laughing hysterically at something you never really noticed before. Right. This is the same thing.
Again, that's what I was saying about the Curly thing. Sometimes I debate with people. Curly seems funnier than he is when you're not watching it. But as it turns out, with the reviews, I'm wrong. I mean, my debate about Curly has been wrong. And he, as I said, every time he's on camera, he's a funny guy.
So that's going to do it for our review of So that does it for our review of Three Little Pigskins.
You might as well subscribe because we're going to do what next?
The next one is Horses' Collars.
Horses' Collars.
That's the 5th film, and that'll be our 5th review, coincidentally enough.
And we'll see you again on the next Three Stooge review.
Don't forget to rate and comment.
And subscribe.
And when I say comment, I mean if you disagree with something we say, go ahead, bring it up. Maybe you just want to remind us of something we forgot.
Yeah.
You might be interested in subscribing so you'll know when the review of Horses' Collars is gonna be uploaded.
There's a lot to see here. Look at all the Zilla stuff.
Yeah, have a good time.